Today we're going to be setting our sights on the Optimiser, a plugin for Tradingview that helps us to optimize trading strategies with bots without having to do manually. But before we delve in deep, I have a burning question I have for all of you guys. When you're deep into the optimizing of a trading strategy, what metrics do you use to find your profitable trading strategies? Is it win rate, profitability, or maybe even something a little bit more advanced like a Sharpe ratio? If you don't mind just whacking it down into the comments below, it will help me to improve all the tools that I'm building, and it helps us to build this community and make it even better. So let's get straight to it. Hello trader friends, I hope you're going extremely well. My name is David and welcome to my channel where I go through trading strategies and build the tools to help you get more profitable. Today we're going to be looking at the Optimiser, an extension for Chrome based browsers that is a plugin for Tradingview and helps us to optimize automatically without manual interaction any trading strategy on Tradingview. It is absolutely amazing. I've been using it for years. I actually helped to build all of the code behind it. And the best part about it is it's 100% free for anybody to add to Chrome on their Chrome browser. So I guess the best idea is to get straight over to my computer and let's have a look at this plugin and how it can help you to trade better. Okay, let's go. But before I go, if you do have a couple of minutes, and I can just ask a big favor, it really does help us out as YouTubers to be able to grow our communities. If you don't mind subscribing and leaving a like on a video if you find the video useful. And I do videos every Monday and every Friday, except for when I'm going to places like Singapore and watch the F1. Okay, that's great. Let's get over to the computer and let's start looking at this plugin. Okay, here we are on my screen. As always, I'm going to go and add an indicator to my Tradingview. It's going to have to be a strategy and not an indicator. I'm on tradingview.com on the 4-hour BTC USDT. First thing I'm going to do is add an indicator. I'm going to use kind of a random indicator. I have looked through a couple, going to the community strips and going to trending up here. Just going to scroll down and find one of the actual strategies. Can't be an indicator, it has to be a strategy as we're looking for backtesting results. If I keep going down here, we'll probably find one that looks good. Okay, we're going to go with this one here, Dual Super Trend with MACD. Now I'm going to click here and that's going to add it to the charts. As you can see up here, we now have it on our charts and it has also popped up the backtesting results. This one, as you can see, looks quite good until it no longer looks good over here. We have 727 trades. We have 38% win rate and 39% net profit. Obviously, not great. I should expect that it would have been about 3,000% if we look at the buy to hold here. We had 3,077%. So, not doing great, but looks like it could potentially be workable. Let's go and have a look at the settings over here. We have some commission, which is great, which means that we are actually looking at something that could be realistic. Right now we have a trading strategy on our charts. We want to optimize it. Now there's several ways of optimizing. We could either optimize it manually by going over to the cog over here and manually changing each and every one of these fields. So we could go here and change the smoothing signal, manually changing it to try and get a better net profit. As you can see, that's decreasing the net profit here, which isn't what we'd like to do, and also creating more drawdown over in the beginning of the trades. So we would be doing this. It could take us absolutely ages to go through all of these, and randomly going through them, we wouldn't know what affected what and how it was working, and we could potentially overfit things in the long run. Unless you had a Excel spreadsheet on the side, you'd get lost and completely ruin your trading strategy and be frustrated in the long run. So that's where I built a tool. I built a tool called the Optimiser. It's this tool here. If you go over to Google and search for the Optimiser, it is an optimizer with the S and not the Z. I am British and never thought about it until I actually launched it. So the Optimiser is this one here. It's for Chrome. If you click on it, you can add it to any Chrome browser, whether that's Brave, Edge, or the actual Chrome browser itself. As long as it's Chromium based, it will work. So you go over here, you click this button, which would actually say add to Chrome over here. I already have it here. If you click on the puzzle piece over in the corner over here, you can pin it to the top so it'll be there easy for you to find. we go back to TradingView and we save our charts, and when we refresh them for our first usage. Right, okay, so let's have a look at the Optimiser. The Optimiser, if we click on the little David Tech button up here, will open this window, which allows us to go through some things. We have our welcome tab as normal, where you're allowed to find things like links to the YouTube channel or things like that. When you first install it, it will open a YouTube video, which is the one explaining for this. I've done a video before, but this was the new updated version. So if you go over to the strategy backtest, we have a couple of tabs up here. The strategy backtest is how to set up your backtest. So it's going to make you an Excel spreadsheet and also find the absolute best settings for you and add them to TradingView. But we need to know, as our bot, it needs to know how it's going to define the best settings in your eyes. Everybody has their own way of setting up strategies and what they consider best settings. So for instance, if you'd like to optimize for win rates, which on TradingView is percent profitability, we just go down and look for the total percent profitability here, long. Now that means that the bot, when you're setting it up, will actually look for the best win rate. We can also add some more filters here, like adding more than 5 trades. So we want more than 100 trades. So total number of closed trades, all. You can do it long or short. We're looking for all. So we would like more than 100 trades to be opened or closed. If not, it'll just disregard the actual strategy setup and move on to the next one. And then we have a couple of other charts here. We have a 3D chart, which helps you to work out what has an effect on what inside the trading strategy. I won't be going through that today. You can also download the results very quickly here, or click Test Trading. I'm going to continue going through the tabs, and then I'll run a simulation through this in a second. The backtesting parameters tells the TradingView how to set this up, whether you would like it on deep backtesting or just normal backtesting. If you don't have a premium subscription on TradingView, you will not have access to the deep backtesting, so you click that. We also have other ways of not overfitting. I know that a lot of guys in here will be going, David, this is just all to do with overfitting. Yeah, well, I'm actually trying to teach people how not to overfit inside a Discord. I've also added things like in and out of sampled backtesting, which I go through in Discord to try and improve the results to make sure they are not overfitted. So back to the Optimiser over here. If you have access to deep backtesting, I suggest that you set this up. It makes things much better. I'm going to turn it off today because I just wanted to go through very quickly the actual setup. You also have things like the watch list and access to things like using your current settings on lots of different coin pairs. Your watch lists can be found here on TradingView. These are all of your watch lists. So for instance, if you found some really good settings and you wanted to test it on loads of crypto pairs or other pairs, you'll be able to do that by just telling the Optimiser to backtest on all of your watch lists. Now there's plenty of ways of having different watch lists. You can set up many of them here and backtest on just the one that you're currently on. You can also ask it to not only backtest on your watch list, but optimize it for the full backtest or time zones. You can also ask it to backtest certain times here, time frames, so you can test and find the best settings for each time frames. Maybe you find some best settings, or you've been manually trading for a long time but not sure which is the best time frames. You can use that to help you go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through a complete test of this by try and find the best settings. So we're going to go over to here, percent profitable. I want a random walkthrough of the results. If you're a little bit more advanced, I suggest looking through all of these here. Each and every one have their own way of optimizing and their advantages and disadvantages, but I'm going to use random today as it's the most simple. It randomly updates one of the values inside of the settings here and then saves it to Excel. So then we're going to go over here and press test settings. It's going to go away and tell you this is not the actual last one you've done. Are you using a different indicator? You press OK. And this then gives you your parameters. So this is a carbon copy of the parameters inside of TradingView as the TradingView strategy that you had on your chart a second ago. You have all of the settings in there. It's pretty simple. You just literally activate and deactivate the ones that you're looking for. You're looking to deactivate or activate the ones that you want to actually change. So the checkbox at the side here tells us that we are activating and changing them. I'm going to change all of them today, Let's not change the direction. Let's leave it to both as default. So let's focus on fast and slow length here. I'm going to explain each of these columns very, very quickly before we continue. Okay, so from is the from value. So it's going to be the lowest possible value that you could have on that length. And then we have a 2. So if we have a from 6 to 24, the optimizer is going to go through and change it from 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 to 10 until it reaches 24. And then we have steps. Steps is the incrementation of each and every part of the trading strategy. So for instance, if you're looking to change it by 2, it will actually now do 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Actually, we're starting from 6, so it'll be 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, all the way up to 24. The default value is where we start from as the default. Doesn't really make much difference. It will go back down to the 6 anyway. And then we have the priority of how we change them so that the bot knows if you decide to do a small number of circle, it will prioritize these here. And then we have conditions and source. Now, conditions and source make an if-else statement around 2 values. So for instance, if you want the fast valued length to always be more than the slow valued length, we go here and we go, okay, we would like it to be more than, and then we go and then add our slow length there. This means that the fast length will always be more than, which doesn't make sense. So let's actually change that to less than the slow length. And then we have the slow length. We have to actually fill that out as well to say we want that to be more than the fast. So it means that the value will always be a higher value in numbers than the fast, and then the fast less than the slow. So that makes sense, I hope. Anyway, a bit complicated, but there we go. Now we have cycles up here. It's going to estimate the number of cycles, which will always be humongous number of cycles. I suggest that playing around with the numbers here, this is the number of times that it tries to find the best settings. We're going to do 10 today, but just for YouTube. But generally, you can do 2,000 to 3,000 whilst you're sleeping and wake up in the morning, and it would have tested 2,000 to 3,000 results and found the best results for them. Okay, so we're going to go save and run up here. We're going to leave the rest as they are. We're going to leave them and not change anything. Yeah, looks pretty good, so we might as well just move on. Let's press save and run. It's now going to go through all of the results and try and find your best settings for you. So as you can see, it is changing the settings here. You can see the recorded results telling you we have not actually found any better, but it's going to continue looking until it finds better. So it's playing around it. It's not me that's touching it. It's actually optimizing automatically here. I'm not touching anything whatsoever. Okay, so we have an improvement on our trading strategy. We have our best settings profitability factor of 41.41. So yeah, so it's now going to go away and add our best settings to our channel over here. So as you can see, we moved from 39% to 41.41. It also downloaded an Excel spreadsheet with all of the settings that it found from the very beginning. If you did 1,000 setups or cycles, it would have given you 1,000 cycles. And all you have to do is literally go through them and all you can do is go through them, and if you find one that actually pleases you more than the actual default one, all you have to do is delete all the other rows and you'll be able to import it over here by going over to the actual settings, and we have a download and upload here button here. You literally press upload and that will import those settings directly in there. Also, it downloads the best settings in its eyes to your computer as well. So you have 2 Excel spreadsheets, which gives you a backup. And if any time you do lose them, you can literally use the upload button here. Another feature that I haven't spoken about is this download here. It means you can back up any time your trading settings and maybe share them with your friends, family, or the David Tech members of the community. Okay, so that is a quick overview of the optimizer and how it works. I do weekly live streams inside of Discord where I go through things like the optimizers. We have a group that is special called the Elite Backtesters, where we're all backtesting and trying to find best settings with the optimizer for all the trading strategies that we use. Doesn't necessarily have to be David Tech strategies. It can be any strategy you find. Yeah, so come and join us on Discord. The link's down below in the description. But before I go anywhere, I'd like to say humongous thank you to Bybit. If you are on crypto crypto, Bybit is definitely my favorite exchange, and we're partnering up with Bybit in the future to try and give as much away of David Tech as possible for free. So if you are going to trade crypto, please use the link down below. You get 10% off of your trading fees and loads of enormous bonuses. Please don't hesitate to go and visit the Bybit website down below in the description. Before I go, guys, I absolutely and totally forgot almost that I was going to give away. So let's give away on this a access to David Tech to somebody who commented in our last video. I'm going to load all of the comments very quickly and let's pick a winner. Okay, here we go. The winner is Cladon. Congratulations, you have won access to David Tech trading strategies and the Discord for 1 month. I will also be giving away next week to anybody that may comment below in the descriptions below. One winner. Thank you very much for being part of this. Okay, guys. Take care, everybody. I hope you enjoyed the tool. Keep safe, keep coding, and trade like a boss. And I will see you on Monday. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.